Hello and welcome everyone to this video on handling file operations in ABAP by ZaranTech. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our ZaranTech YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to never miss any update from us.
So hello everyone. In this video, we are going to understand the concept of file handling in ABAP programming. So see, what is a file? File is a place where data is stored. And file handling means the various operations like opening the file, closing the file, deleting the file, reading the file, writing the file. These are the various operations which we can perform on our using the file operation. Now we are going to see the practically how we can perform file handling on presentation server. So to work with files on presentation server, SAP provided the various function modules. And what are the particular function modules? These are basically GUI upload. This particular function module is used to reading data file on presentation server. And then we have a dedicated function module GUI download, which is used to writing data to a file on presentation server. So I'm going to show you certain things. This is a file, basically a notepad file where I have stored some 5 data on employees. This is basically my employee ID and this is my employee data, which I want to upload on my presentation server and I want to display in form of ALV. So how we are going to display it? So basically I've created a program which I'm going to show you. First, I've created a type structure for these two fields. We can see there are only 2 columns here. So I've created type structure for employee ID, then employee name. Then I've created an internal table. And now see, for uploading the data, for reading the file on presentation server, we will be using the function module GUI upload. And we have a dedicated function module for selecting the file. That is from selection screen. This particular function module F for file name is used to navigate us from our SAP system to my local system. And from there, I can select the file. So I've created a particular P file of type local file. If I double click on this, you can see local file for upload or download. So I will get my P file here. Then what I have done, I have called the function module GUI upload, and after that I will get my data in this particular internal table LT file which I have created here. And then at last I have called the factory method of CLSLV table class, which is basically returns me its object. Then I have called its display method because it displays are an instance method. Then I have called it display method to display the ALV. So I am going to simply click on execute. I will put a debugger here, GUI upload, so that we can understand this concept. I will click on execute button. And here, as soon as I press on F4, it will navigate to my local system. So I will simply go to my local system and I will select my file. Then I will click on execute button. Simply go to desktop 3. Now see, in LT file, in P file, I can see my location here. Now I'll press F6 to execute this function module. So as soon as I will press F6, I will get a pop-up screen here, and which is saying that the system is trying to access the file. Do we want to allow it? I will click on allow button. Now see, I got the 5 rows in LT file. I'll double click on it and I can see that all the 5 rows have been stored here. So I'll simply go to desktop 3. Then I'll click on execute button to see the ALV. So this is how we can use GUI upload for reading the data from the presentation server. The next one is writing the data from the presentation server. So see, in this particular section, what I have done, I have used a particular function module GUI download. So I am going to show you my program for writing the file. Yeah. Okay. Now see, what I have done here, I have taken a requirement that From the selection screen, I will give input to 5 fields from VBAK table. I've taken 5 fields from VBAK table, which are VVLN, ERDAT, ERZDT, ERNUM, VBType, and basically these 5 fields. Then I've created an internal table for it. After that, I have used the same function module F for file name, which I will use to select the file where I want to store the data. Then what I will do, I have used the startup selection event. In startup selection, I have fetched the data from VBAK table so that you see my data will be stored here. Now what I can do, I can simply use the GUI download function module and I have passed the internal table here so that my data can be stored there. So for that purpose, I will create a simple notepad file which I can use. I will create a notepad here. Notepad. I will save this file on desktop as sales order. Perfect. Now I'll simply go to my program, write file. Then what I will do, I will put a debugger in the startup selection. Now I'll click on execute button. I will give input from 1 to 10. Then in P5, I will click on F4 button to select the particular file. Sales order. Perfect. I will click on execute button to see whatever the changes are being performed in my debugging mode. In LTVBAK, I will press F5 here so that we can see the 10 data has been stored in my internal table. So I'll simply go to desktop 3. Now see, my internal table is not initial. So I'm calling this particular function module. So I'll click on execute. I will get again a pop-up screen about SAP GUI security. I will click on allow. We can see the data has been downloaded using the function mode. So I will go to sales order. See, we have those particular records, 10 records here. You can see 3, 3, 6, 3, 9 and 1, 10. My 10 records has been stored here. So this is how we can perform reading and writing on presentations here. These are basically file operations in SAP ABAP. And what I use there, I use GUI download function module for writing the file and GUI upload function module for reading the file. And what is a file? Simply, the file is a place where some data is stored, and file only simply means operations like opening and closing, deleting and reading and writing. So I use the reading and writing operations here to show you the implementation in ABAP. So thank you very much.